Does something exist because you believe it does? Does something not exist simply because you don't believe in it? No, truth is based on evidence. But what kind of evidence convinces you that something exists? We believe in many things we can't see: air, wind, atoms, electricity, gravity, time. And we believe in things we can't hear: galaxies, dog whistles, microorganisms. We also believe in things we can't feel, such as our brain or the rotation of the earth. But why? What convinces you? The effects. Effects that you can see, hear, feel, and measure. And the testimony from those who know the facts. Evidence. Evidence is the basis for faith. Today, many people don't believe that God exists. Their lack of faith can affect us. Indeed, our faith is under attack. This symposium will remind us of our reasons for faith and will help us to strengthen our faith. We'll consider why we have faith in God's existence, in His Word, in His moral standards, and in His love.
What we have here, viewers, is David Schafer, helper to the governing body, delivering a talk entitled Why We Have Faith in God's Existence. And as we've all seen, he is speaking utter gibberish. I mean, what the hell was that? Notice how he pulls the old trick that creationists usually pull when people like me say, well, if you want me to believe in your God or in your version of a God, you'll need to present me with some evidence to prove he, she, or its existence. What they tend to do, creationists, particularly the more slithery ones, is say, well, what do we mean by evidence?
No, truth is based on evidence. But what kind of evidence convinces you that something exists?
Oh, that's easy. Clear, objective, scientifically corroborated evidence. And also evidence according to how grandiose or extraordinary the claim is. Or as it's often said, extraordinary claims require extraordinary evidence. If you're going to tell me, for example, let's say you, the viewer, we have a phone conversation in which you say, Lloyd, did you know I once went on holiday to Tunisia? I'm not going to doubt the fact that you went to Tunisia because it's perfectly plausible. Lots of people go on holiday to Tunisia. There's no reason why you would lie to me. And it's not like anything is really expected of me. It's not impacting me in any way for me to believe or take it on face value that you did indeed go to Tunisia. If, on the other hand, you were to say to me, Lloyd, did you know I once went to Mars? Well, then I would have a problem. You're making, again, an extraordinary claim, and I'm going to doubt your claim unless you can give me evidence, maybe a flight log with NASA or with SpaceX, maybe some camera footage or photographs of you actually on Mars, and also documented evidence showing why your trip to Mars was concealed so that it didn't appear in the history books. You can see where I'm going with this. Evidence is important, and it is increasingly important depending on how big the claim is. In David Schafer's case, he wants to convince you not just that the universe was created by an intelligent supernatural being, but that that intelligent supernatural being's name is Jehovah, that Jehovah inspired the Bible, and that Jehovah arranged for his bosses, the faithful slave, the governing body, to be invisibly appointed in 1919 so that they could be the channel of communication of spiritual food, which he incidentally is now a prominent part of. Those are the claims that he wants you to buy into, claims that cannot or should not be taken purely on face value, claims that clearly call for some quite compelling persuasive evidence, and then he has the gall to say,
Evidence. Evidence is the basis for faith.
Don't speak bollocks, David Schafer. I mean, I'm sorry, viewers. What on earth is he saying? Evidence is the basis for faith. We've just had in this convention Hebrews 11 verse 1 read out, which clearly says faith is the ability to believe in things that you cannot see, to demonstrate through your actions that you are convinced in something that you can't prove. That's what Hebrews 11 verse 1 says. There's no evidence in there. It's all about believing based purely on what you've been told, putting trust in an authority, and just allowing your life to be guided from that point forward based purely on this dogma that you've accepted and embraced. And as I've argued already, this gets us to any number of faiths. You can just effectively pick and choose which belief system you want to invest your faith in. Faith is, by definition, unrelated to evidence. The only hint at evidence in Hebrews 11 verse 1, when it talks about the evident demonstration of realities though not beheld, it's talking about you giving evidence in your actions about the fact that you believe in something. It's not talking about you believing based on evidence. So at this point, David Schafer is just openly misleading his audience. And then he says,
Today, many people don't believe that God exists. Their lack of faith can affect us. Indeed, our faith is under attack.
well, isn't that interesting? There's a little bit of insecurity creeping in now in David Schafer. He feels threatened, apparently, or he feels Jehovah's Witnesses should feel threatened by the fact that other people can't embrace their beliefs. Well, that's not how it works for me as an atheist or as someone who orients his life around science and the scientific method. I am not in any way threatened by people who don't embrace science or don't embrace logic and reason. I think it's sad that they don't. And I'm alarmed when this credulity and, in some cases, fanaticism impedes on the rights of others or threatens the security of others, as we see in the case of religious fundamentalism, especially when it spills over into terrorism. But purely the fact of people believing in things or not believing in things makes absolutely no difference to me whatsoever. I do not lose a wink of sleep over what other people believe or don't believe. Isn't it interesting that the faithful apparently feel so insecure, and in this case are being encouraged to feel insecure, based purely on the inability of others to embrace their beliefs and join them in their particular faith?
Faith in the existence of the Creator has given our lives meaning and purpose. It has unlocked the answers to such questions as, why does the universe exist, and what does the future hold? True, there are people who shy away from such questions, thinking that the answers are just beyond us. Some even teach that there is no purpose, no ultimate meaning in life. But where does that leave them? Without reliable guidance.
Well, now we're getting down to brass tacks, aren't we? Now we're seeing where this is going. So first of all, David Schafer essentially insults everyone like me who doesn't have faith, who doesn't have religious belief. He says,
faith in the existence of the Creator has given our lives meaning and purpose,
implying that without faith in a creator, without faith in a supernatural cause to the universe, your life has no meaning and has no purpose. Well, that's just simply not true. You can give your life whatever meaning and purpose you want. You don't need a religion or a dogma or an organization to tell you what your meaning or purpose is. This is one of the things that you discover when you do get rid of religion entirely, is that if anything, life takes on even more meaning because you realize how rare it is, how almost impossible it is that you exist, and how fleeting your life is. You're no longer banking on some afterlife, at which point you can start to enjoy your existence. No, you realize that life really is it. Once you've had your time on this planet, that's it. You're done. So you'd better make the most of the time that you have. Speaking for myself, I feel like my life has so much more meaning and purpose since I ditched not just the Jehovah's Witness religion, but religion in general. He then says,
Some even teach that there is no purpose, no ultimate meaning in life. But where does that leave them? Without reliable guidance.
okay, we can see where this is going. David Schafer is telling his audience, well, imagine if you didn't have my particular set of beliefs, where Jesus invisibly chooses the faithful slave in 1919 and appoints Jehovah's Witnesses to be God's one true organization on the earth, causing me in the 21st century, David Schafer, to have some position of prominence. Imagine what it would be like if you didn't embrace this particular set of beliefs. You'd be without reliable guidance. Don't worry, though. I, David Schafer, along with my masters, the governing body, we're here to give you reliable guidance. Worry not. You poor desperate wretches who've been navigating through life with no guidance at all, just stumbling around blind, wondering what to do. We're here to give you some guidance. Actually, it's not just guidance. You could even call it micromanaging. We want to micromanage your existence in even the minutiae of your life, in every conceivable aspect of your life, to the point of what medical decisions you make. We're here to give you reliable guidance.